you could keep squeezing the columns closer together and get more height in the same. You didn't have to make the roof any taller. You could leave the roof the same height. Some of those towers, some of those vaults are like 40 stories. Huge. Hundreds of feet tall. It's insane to me. Steeples, 100, 400 feet tall. You know, can you imagine? I can't imagine that. So you still see a lot of the same details. One of the things I noticed the other day when I was in here, though, is some of the little details. We noticed the capital here, right? This is still called a capital, just like it was from the Greek orders, but it's not a particular type. And you have the little crockets sticking out, these little boobly things. Well, if you look down at the columns that are integrated into the seats, they have the same little boobly things, only scaled down. So that's all kind of happening at the same time. If you come up, one of the things I love about this church, if you come up to the altar here, here we have a combination of that marble altar with the wooden tabernacle. And something that not everybody knows, it caught me off guard the first time I got here. The Germans, again, the German woodworkers, very, very talented and crafty and tricksy kind of people. The image here of Jesus on the cross and Jesus risen, right? During Lent, he goes away. And then you can crawl up, if you want, well, there's not enough room back there. There's a door in the back, and you can climb up inside of this thing. And you can turn these around. They're on pivots, so you pull a pin out, and you turn it around, you put Jesus away for Lent, and then after Easter, you turn it back around, it's like, ah, you know, and then you get hallelujahs out, and everybody has a good time, right? It is genius. Rather than covering them up, sometimes you go to a church and they'll drape fabric, like purple fabric over them. I don't think that's as cool as that. That's cooler to me. It's like, oh, click, turn, click, locks it in. One of the things that they do in this one, okay, so I said the other one was more Lutheran, right? It's sparse. We'll talk about that, the Northern Renaissance, a little bit next semester. Not as much going on. These windows here are far more involved. We didn't spend much time looking at those windows. The windows at New Vienna tend to be, each one's very similar to all the other ones. They have a lot more clear glass, which lets a lot more light into the space. These were created by a German glassworks that was destroyed during World War II. So these cannot be replaced, they cannot be fixed, they cannot be anything. And I'm still trying to find time to do research on the imagery. There's a lot of symbolic imagery that's very specific to this glassworks company. So each one of these is a unique work of art that cannot be reproduced because the company was destroyed during World War II. So the same way with the glass and rose windows that the Gothic cathedrals were blown out. Actually, when World War II and World War I started, many of the churches took their windows out and tried to put them somewhere safe because they didn't want them to be blown out. Because how you can replace it. But one of the things we do with the kids, if they're being rowdy, is have them count angels. So that's a big difference between the Baroque, I think, and the medieval. Is there are so many angels in here. There's four per kind of fan, and then there's scenes from the Bible, these kind of frescoes that you can see other places. There's these kind of little scrolly Baroque designs, and when we see the Baroque, you'll understand what I mean by this. But this is kind of just ornateness for the sake of being ornate. This building is about ornateness. When you walk in here, there's lots and lots of stuff to look at. But the one that kills me is if you come closer to the tabernacle. You see, there's probably 100 angels on this tabernacle. You see, where do you see faces? All the cherubs, all the way around here. All the cherubs around here. We have, what are these? Dionysus' grapes, right? All the way around. Angels Christ, right? One of the things I learned about this will be relief sculpture. I don't think these are. Yeah, these are relief sculptures. This would be like a high relief and low relief. This 3 or 4-lobed cross made out of circles. I learned what the equidistant cross is all about. It's the influence and the glory of God which goes from horizon to horizon. in all directions, all four directions equally, covers everything equally. That's what the idea of the equal length cross got translated to in Christianity. So the other thing they do, we've got the halo. This is a sculptural halo. I love this. You know, how do you carve a figure with a halo? You give him one. So you got, who's this? Peter, right? This guy is key. Paul with the sword, right? And we don't have just one saint. We have two saints, right? So we're twice as good. We have prestige. This is St. Peter's and Paul's. Yep, St. Peter's and Paul's. Yeah, Crockett's all over the place, right? Yeah, these little, this is like, we saw that this would be like a little exterior, I don't know what they call it, but we saw this with, on the exterior of the Gothic cathedrals. They create a little architectural niche space in the carving so they could put a full-size figure in there. And these figures are very realistic, very kind of Greco-Roman figures, not kind of your flat, there's nothing about this that's medieval. Okay, so that's the revival part of it also. Medieval art, they might be a little flatter or they might be carved into the surface. This is taking some of the best ideas of the Renaissance, which were rebirth of the classical sculpture, and using it in a very Gothic style architectural niche within a Gothic church. So the benefit of living now is that we get to look back and pick and choose the best things from all the different times, and all for the same effort to create a monument. This church is not just a religious site. It's like I said, there was a fight, not really a literal fight, but there was a huge competitive quality to this church versus the church we were in, versus the basilica, for prestige, for the communities to feel like they had. And so this very small little community, which has not been any bigger for the foreseeable past, plus all the farms we saw when we drove past here, they all gave money. They all gave time. I was saying in our car that some of the churches, the first Petersburg church was actually built by a lot of the parishioners. I met a man whose great-grandfather helped build the first Petersburg church. And they took some of the stones from that church because they had intrinsic value. They drug them over here and laid them for this one. This is the first consecrated church in Iowa. So that means this was the first church to be bought and paid for. For the insurance. We're self-insured. But it was the first one to be consecrated, which was a big deal. They own it. They owned it outright, which is a big deal. Ironically, this is the second church I've ever gone to, and it's also, the first one I went to was the first consecrated church in the United States. And this is the first consecrated church in the state of Iowa, which is kind of weird. St. Lawrence Martyr in New Bedford, Massachusetts was the first consecrated church, either in Massachusetts or I think in the country. It's the first one that was owned outright by the people. That's a very proud moment for your congregation. This is the, when they do the host. Ding, ding, ding. Well, that's for Christmas. And these are for the, this is the tones. They still do the old school. Pre-Vatican II, playing the tones when they break the bread. They go ding, ding, ding. Yes. So, they have that old school. I don't think we're in trouble.
Oh, no.
No.
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Father Connor's not here.
Who's here though?
Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't hear those in a contemporary church, but this is an old school church and they keep their traditions, right? So when they break the bread, ding, ding, ding. When they bless the wine, ding, ding, ding. That's the symbol to everybody that's coming down. Like we have our eternal flame hanging right down in the middle of the space, so that's how you know it's Catholic Church. Right. Every Catholic church will have an eternal flame. Our chapel has an eternal flame. Sometimes it has to be relit, which I think is funny. But